The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah!
Go Cowboys!
This is The Route Tree, broadcasting live on DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys app. Now, your host, Drew Pearson.
Welcome to another episode of The Route Tree. I'm your host, the original number 88, Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion. That's me, the original 88, Drew Pearson. Now come with me on the show where legends of the game, rising stars, share their journeys, insights, and inspiration. Today, we got a very special guest joining us, and he's a man that has worked his way through the ranks from East Central High School to Oklahoma University. Had a little stop there with the Atlanta Falcons, but life was good on him and shining on him because he ended up being with the Dallas Cowboys and won 2 Super Bowls with the Dallas Cowboys. But not only that, he's a champion anyway because he won a national championship with OU, right? Y'all probably cheated. Hut.
Wait, you're doing okay
until I said that. I know. I'm from TU.
And oh, by the way, they wouldn't be cheating today.
Oh, no, gamemanship.
Yeah.
Gamemanship, right?
Yeah, so that was nothing.
Anyway, you heard the voice. And none other than the great Tony Casillas joining us on the Route Tree.
Man,
Tony, thanks for taking the time.
Thanks
brother.
for having me. It's always a pleasure to sit down with you. And every time I see you, you look great, and you're just aging like a fine bottle of wine. And man, it's always I sincerely mean it. It's always great to talk to you and kind of your perspective and just how excited you are about life and, you know, everywhere you're going. And so it's a blessing, man. I'm not trying to get a little too sensitive on it.
I appreciate that.
Because I'll get to you later.
I appreciate that respect. And that's what it's all about, you know. We don't have to play together, you know, to appreciate what we've all accomplished out there on the football field. Not only that, in our lives after football. So the respect is there. And when we get together, the respect just comes out, you know? I mean, it's just the way it is. We've had Tall, we've had Billy Joe Dupree on the show, and, you know, it's the same thing, sitting with those guys, the respect that you feel. These are guys I played with. Now, you're one of those. Everson Walls was a guest as well. Mm-hmm. You know, I'd say, Everson, you're one of those guys that could have played with us, before us, after us, generational guy. That what I see you as, Tony. Do you see yourself that way?
Well, I appreciate that because that's a huge compliment. I think that, you know this, you have that football DNA, but more importantly, you have that brotherhood DNA.
Yeah.
So when and especially, you know, playing for the Cowboys organization, having success and being part of a tremendous dynasty team and the teams you played on, I mean, I watched you. You know, the Hail Mary catch, everything that you've done. And so I think our aspirations was to maybe just be half that good. And as you mentioned, man, we were able to be part of that. You know, it's an elite group. It's kind of like you being in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It's an elite group of being part of an organization that's won Super Bowls. And like I said, man, everyone and that I know they have nothing but respect that when they talk about Drew Pearson because just who the ambassador you are.
Right. Thank you for that. You know, a lot of it is because of the people I was around. You know, at Tulsa, I didn't win nothing. 3 losing seasons in 4 years, 3 head coaches in 4 years, 3 years of probation in 4 years. But then you get, you know, I didn't get drafted. You end up with the Dallas Cowboys. And not only make you a better football player because of the people around you, but they teach you how to be a professional, all right, how to carry yourself, not just in that locker room, but off the field as well. And if you can follow the lead of a Roger Staubach, a Tom Landry, a Bob Lilly, Bob Hayes, Cornell Green, people like that, then if you don't pick up on that, then that's your part.
And those names you just mentioned, you know, Roger Staubach and, you know, some of the greats that you play with. And, you know, I just imagine, you know, Tom Landry, Coach Landry, and just, I mean, everybody, we see two sides of every story, but the relationship, but I mean, to think being in a huddle with those players and
imagine
that chemistry
that,
and the magic and all the stuff that you were able to accomplish. I mean, you know, and I think that's one thing about being able to have conversation with another football player that's played. And because I think, you know, and I'm not saying this in a negative way, but we kind of understand. We understand that that type of talk, the football talk, and it's not just X's and O's. It's that locker room stuff that you have, and
conversation,
and we can relate. It's very relatable, and I think that's the cool dynamic of that relationship with another football player, especially for the Dallas Cowboys organization that's done that well.
Yeah, and then different generations coming together and talk about how it was when you were coming through, how it was when we were coming through. All right, you had Jimmy Johnson, right, initially. Before we get to that, then you had Barry Switzer. But before you from Oklahoma, must be Tulsa area if you went to East Central High School.
I used to East Central High School, and and I remember the University of Tulsa Hurricanes. Alma mater.
Did they recruit you? Probably not. That's why we were never won anything.
I'm going to be honest with you. I did sit in the stands with John Cooper. He was a coach.
Okay, right.
Coach Cooper that went on to coach at Arizona State and Ohio State. And we're sitting, I'm at, that time I was getting heavily recruited. I guess you'd call it in today's standards a 5-star, a 4-star, I don't know, whatever, as long as you can play. So I was getting heavily recruited by Oklahoma. And but, think about this. I'm a Tulsa kid growing up and Tulsa Hurricane, and it's a college, way before you even thought about you're going to have a chance to play college football. I mean, this was a dream, right?
Yeah, right in your hometown.
Right, and so I'm going down on 11th and Harvard, right there. 11th and Harvard.
Call it out, brother. Call it out. The U totem.
And then right across the street, there's a place we used to go to in high school called the Tap Room. And, So it was so I remember sitting in the stands with Coach John Cooper, and we're sitting there and we're watching practice, and he's talking to me and goes, I know I don't have a chance, Tony.
Wow.
And I said, well,
came at you
like
that?
I mean, he did.
Being honest.
And he was being honest. And I didn't say, well, Coach, you really don't. I just meant at the time. I mean, because I was.
And he didn't.
But I felt like the respect for the Tulsa Hurricane and Coach Cooper, that being a hometown dude, being recruited, I thought, well, I owe it to him. I owe it to just, take a visit.
Were you coming through East Central when Booker T. Washington was doing it? John Winesberry. You remember that name? Reuben Gant.
Oh, there were.
Remember those names?
Oh my God.
Huh?
The list goes on.
There were more stars.
Oh my God.
At TU than we were.
Yeah, I mean it was ridiculous, right?
Their games they played in our stadium.
Yeah.
And their games sold out more than we did. We couldn't give our tickets
no
away
lie either.
They would scalp their tickets.
Well, I remember Booker T. Washington in Tulsa, and I just. We play them. I don't know if we ever played them, but I mean, it was like the gateway to Division I football. I mean, you know that, right?
Right,
I mean,
right.
And Booker T. Washington was, I don't know. You look around some of these high-powered high schools here locally, and they were that version of it because they were so good. And it seems to me every year they had. 7 or 8, maybe 9 D1 guys, and you're sitting there thinking, maybe these guys maybe they could beat a college team.
Yeah,
they were that good.
They were that good.
I mean, those guys were some bad boys,
and they had the size and the line, and of course the athletes on the outside, and we used to sit in the stands, watching them. And because, like I said, they drew more than we did. For the home games there in Skelly Stadium.
Oh, my God.
I know you played there. Did you ever play there?
Oh, yeah. I left a lot of skin on that field.
You and me both.
That freaking carpet. But, I mean, that was cool. That was, here, let's use, some of these, Allen or McKinney or some of these, big, high school stadiums. That was our version of that.
Right.
Huge stadium. And we go to Skelly Stadium. Drew Pearson, Dave Raider, excuse me.
Yeah.
There were some great players, and it was just we looked up to guys like you, and the fact that we were playing in a college stadium, we felt like, hey, man,
I know
we're big boys,
big stuff, huh?
It was cool, but man, Skelly Stadium, man, that was we're going back in the
they've done some renovations since then. It's a good thing too. They needed
hopefully so. I think it's grass.
They took me and Steve Largent's name down so they can do the renovation.
I don't think so. Well, I was gonna
we'll see where that goes.
Drew Pearson and Steve Largent are the University of Tulsa when it comes to football.
Well, our special guest is none other than number 7592, whatever you want to call him. He's got those numbers. None other than the great Tony Casillas. We're going to take the journey. Now that we've been through the high school experience and all that, we're going to take the journey from college to the Dallas Cowboys and how that was for you, okay? We'll do that when the route tree. We'll be right back after this.
Every day begins with a promise to work hard and to build a future. That's why we're here, providing the tools, expertise, and John Deere equipment you have relied on for generations to help you get the job done right. We're with you. That's our promise to you, because no matter the project or the challenge you're facing,
we're with you. We're united.
Cowboys fans, we've got big news. Black Rifle Energy is now available at Texas 7-Eleven stores. And for a limited time, you can score 2 cans for just $6 at participating locations. These cans pack a serious punch, 200 milligrams of caffeine, veteran-crafted flavor, and the clean energy you need to power through those long days. So the next time you roll into your neighborhood 7-Eleven here in Texas, grab that 2 for $6 Black Rifle Energy deal and fuel up the American way. Black Rifle Coffee, America's coffee.
How's it going? You see that Cowboys game?
Oh, I watched. Been seeing some good things.
Totally. They have some talent.
Yup, some great talent.
And they got some fight.
Hoping this is the year.
Me too. Oh, I'm Cody, by the way.
I'm Travis.
Nice to meet you, Travis. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys!
Make a new friend based solely on their shirt choice. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation.
At AT&T, we guarantee our network so you can talk college football with your BFF while taking Buster to the vet.
Hey, yeah, I can't believe he ate the whole thing of chicken wings.
And I can't believe we're staging a comeback. Touchdown!
Yes!
Yes!
Staying connected matters. That's why in the rare event of a network outage, you'll automatically get a bill credit for a full day's service. For wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers, must be connected to impacted tower at onset of outage. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for full details.
Back to the route tree.
Welcome back to the route tree. I'm the original 88, Drew Pearson. That guy sitting next to me, that's the Mexican-American, none other than the great Tony Casillas. And we're going to pick it up. We talked about your personal life and all that. You went to East Central. Then you go to OU. Being recruited out of high school, were you heavily recruited? Was OU your only choice, or you had other choices? And what did it come down to, if you did?
Well, it came down to Oklahoma and Texas, which was absurd considering me being from Oklahoma and growing up and watching Oklahoma and fantasizing about playing an Owen field. So, I mean, I just like any other kid that goes through the whole process. You know, back then I got to be exposed to a lot of different things that my parents couldn't afford, like going to see the ocean, the UCLA, or going to the mountains, visit Colorado, Notre Dame. I mean, all these different places. So I took advantage of all that, you know, meeting the hot girls. And no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
you know,
that's all right.
You know, they took care of it.
We could talk like that.
Yeah, we can. I mean, and so I always enjoyed that. So I was very fortunate that. And I remember one thing I always remember, Drew, is that we always have these defining moments in time where we just feel like you'll never forget it.
Yeah.
The first time, I remember when I was getting recruited, and you know this, you'd get letters every day, and it was just like Christmas. You're like, oh my God, I cannot believe that I'm being wanted. You know, that I'm getting recruited to, by these Division D1 schools. And so the first letter I got was the University of Kansas. I go out there and open it up, and it says, hey, this is such and such coach and interested in you taking a visit. So I go in, and my dad was his family they migrated from Chihuahua, state of Chihuahua. But anyways, they came to Oklahoma. But so, my dad, he didn't have anything. And so when I went in, I showed him a letter, and I said, hey, Dad, check this out, man. I'm getting recruited by Kansas. Wow. I remember next thing you know, I see tears running down his eyes.
Oh, no.
So I'm thinking, man, that was pretty cool. But, I took advantage of all those wine and dining and all the dog and pony show and everything, because I was just going to enjoy it. And but it did actually come down to Texas, which I would have
Who's
never.
the coach at Texas now?
Fred Akers.
Akers,
Yeah.
okay.
And he was God rest his soul, but he was he was a little different.
Okay.
He's a little his sense of humor. One of those kind of one. He does one of those checking out your mind and magic trick, and went in his office and I thought it was different. But I mean, I was getting recruited, and I really liked Austin, but I mean, there's no way Coach Switzer is going to let the greatest Mexican he's ever coached. And this is how he introduced me, and I always tell him I'm the only one he ever coached. But he wasn't going to let me get away.
Right.
So, he called, and, I mean, this is a funny story because, everyone had – Coach Switzer we talked about till we started the podcast, and, the first time he met me, and he talked publicly about this when he introduced me when I was up for all, just ironically, the Hispanic Hall of Fame in Oklahoma. So he presented me. And so anyways, he gets up there and my mom's there and my family and all these people. Coach Switzer, he doesn't have a filter, which is great. He's one of those cats that can get away with it.
I like the way you put that.
Yeah,
no filter.
He can get away with it. So he's up there and he's talking about, the first time I met Tony, Mert Johnson was recruiting him, and he said, "Hey, you need to go see this player, Tony Casillas from Tulsa." He goes, "Yeah." So he did a home visit. So he walks in my house and he meets my dad, and my dad's probably 5'7". My mom's 5'7.5", and so he's just kind of looking around. So I walk in, and I just got through working out,
right? And
he looks at me. And he looks at my dad. And he goes, my dad's name is Pete. He says, "Hey, Pete, I think you need to get a DNA check." I'm like, "That's Coach Switzer." Yeah. That is Coach Switzer. That's Coach Switzer. But man, so I ended up obviously going to Oklahoma, and that was, to this day.
Was it even close? Oklahoma as a because
what are you referring to?
I mean, is it close? Your decision. Between Texas and OU.
No, I mean
you're in Oklahoma. You know about them. You know the history. It's probably a kid growing up. Yeah. That's what you want to be.
In hindsight, Drew, when I look back at it, it's probably the best. It was obviously the best decision I made.
Absolutely.
Because I got really homesick when I was at OU. I got injured my first year. I was redshirted. You know how it is. You're playing against all these veteran players, and it was just kind of a really a difficult year. I mean, it was something I decided that I was going to leave and go back home. I didn't know what the hell I was going to do.
That's the first time you ain't playing football during football season,
and
right?
So you know how
your red shirt.
Yeah, and so when you're getting your ass kicked, by these older guys, and they take pleasure in it. I know I did. And so many young guys. Anyway, but point being said, I got injured, and I almost quit. I mean, I did quit. I left, and then Coach Switzer called me back and said he believed in me. And so I ended up going back. So who knows what the journey's going to be. I mean, you've had your own journey. I've had my own journey. Everyone has a journey. And it wasn't easy, but it sure paid off, the hard work and sacrifice and, everything you have to do, man, it paid off.
You caught some of Jimmy Johnson, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So,
Are you talking about in college?
No, in the pros.
Oh, he was our coach.
Yeah. So,
but Jimmy was a coach at Oklahoma State at the time.
Yeah. That's before he got to the Cowboys.
Yeah,
right?
But he was with Miami. But
did he recruit you at?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So him and Coach Wanstead, Dave Wanstead was our defensive coordinator back then. I saw more of him than I saw anyone else, including my mom, my dad, my family, because he lived at our school. I mean, they didn't have a chance either because Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, and we referred to him to die at Oklahoma. So, but Jimmy was there. But I felt really fortunate because I've had two polar opposite great coaches, and Coach Switzer and Jimmy Johnson. And Jimmy Johnson, he traded for me, and when I was at a crossroads when I was in Atlanta. You talk about being in Atlanta. I mean, we were horrible. It was a very, people don't understand. They hear so much like the environment, the football environment, toxic environment. I lived that. I knew what it was like to live in a place live and work and play in the NFL the Atlanta Falcons back then because it was nothing.
Yeah.
There was no expectations. Their expectations was to let's get the end of the season.
Just
from
make it
the
through.
Players. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a trip. Lehman Bennett, was he the coach there at that time?
In
Atlanta?
I think he was there.
I said, no way Lehman Bennett's going to be Tom Landry. I said, no way.
So I remember when we beat Dallas when I think it was my second year in the league, I don't know, and we beat Dallas and we were 4-0.
Yeah.
And at the time, Dan Henning was our coach. He got fired.
Dan Henning, I remember.
And then Dan Henning was with the Redskins, and I'm trying to think who it was before, but anyways, they hired him, and then they hired Marion Campbell, and then he got fired, and then they hired Jim Hannafin as the interim coach, and then they hired crazy ass Jerry Glanville.
Oh my goodness!
And
you had all these guys.
Yeah, and you think about Jerry Glanville, he's the dude that traded away Brett Favre. So what's that say?
What's he say about him? Right?
So anyway,
yeah.
That's kind of like trading Luka,
Man,
you just don't do that.
Call those names out that you just called on that coaching tree.
Yeah, that was in 5 years.
Wow.
So it just starts from the top and goes down to the bottom. And that's one thing about Dallas, the organization and just the expectations. And there was no expectation there. There was no vibe, no energy. You know how it is. It doesn't matter what level you're playing on. You want to be able to have fun. I mean, it is a game. You are getting paid, but still, it's a game.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I got I remember I was my last year, 91. I was inactive for the Cowboy game. We were playing the Cowboys, and that's when Jimmy and Wanstead. I mean, that was 80.
You're with Atlanta now.
I was in Atlanta before I got traded. I believe that was 90. That was right before 91.
Right.
And so of course we're not going to playoffs. And I guess Dallas had Jerry Glanville's telling them that they were popping champagne in the locker room, which is totally untrue. But anyways,
he tried to get you all fired up.
Oh yeah. So anyways, so I'm out there on the field and I see Wanstead. Wanstead recruited me, tried to get me to go to Oklahoma State, and when he's coached with Jimmy, and so I'm out there and I'm just watching pregame warm-ups, and I go over there and I said, "Hey, coach, how you doing?" He goes, "Hey, and they're catching up and said, "Hey, let me just put this in the air. I want out of Atlanta. I mean, I don't want to be here not having fun playing football. I just, is there any way? I mean, I'll come there and Dallas and play my ass off for you. Whatever you need me to do."
Yeah.
And he's looking at me and like, okay,
right on.
Right on. So anyways,
you're pretty much your own agent at that time.
Yeah, I mean, I was just
selling yourself.
I was just saying, look, I just want
to get out of here.
Yeah, and so I really didn't think anything of it until I had to report to camp in '91, and I got to the point where Glanville, everyone says, hey, the player's not the coach's guy. He took that to another level. He would ostracize you. He'd make a point, and so I wasn't going to say it.
Yeah.
So I called Ken Herrock, who's a GM, and I said, hey, this is right before training camp, and I said, hey, I'm not coming back. I'm retiring. He goes, what? I said, yeah, I'm not coming back. I'm not playing for Glanville. So.
That's it.
I'm gonna be a pro golfer. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
So they took your statement seriously.
Yeah. So
that you were giving it up.
So I was at my buddy's house. We were best friends grew up as friends, and so I'm back in Tulsa, and so we're sitting there, and a week later I didn't hear anything. I'm talking to my agent, so I'm sitting there in this house, and for some reason Jimmy gets my number. Or I don't know if not cell phone, but so he was able to get contact. So I get this call and he says, "Hey, Tony," it's Jimmy Johnson. I'm like, "Coach?"
Oh, nice.
I'm like,
okay.
Yeah. He goes, "Hey, I'm getting ready to trade for you. You want to come here and help me win some Super Bowls?" I'm like,
wow.
"Oh my God, hell yes!"
Is this Santa Claus?
Yeah. I'm like, and I was like, "Oh my God!" I just got my.
And what year was this?
It was 91.
91.
And all of a sudden, I just got this bolt of energy and just felt like, hey, man, football is going to be fun again.
Yeah.
And so, because it's always good to go to an organization that really feels like, hey, you can help us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they trade for you and they draft for you, they're drafting you or trading for you to come in and help them out.
Yeah, they want you.
You know
now.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
And if not, you know how that goes.
Yep.
So, anyways, that's how I got traded to Dallas. And
were you? So you were happy about?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
You know, Drew, you know how it is.
Who were some of the guys you ran into once you got traded on that roster? Troy was there.
It was Troy. Emmett, Michael Irvin, number 88.
How about that big tackle? Eric Williams was there.
Eric Williams,
all that. Yeah.
all those guys.
All those
Mark
guys
Stepnowski, Daryl Johnston.
Wow.
Darren Woodson.
Wow.
Larry Brown.
Wow.
Russell Maryland. Leon Lett.
Wow.
Tony Tolbert.
Wow.
I mean, all those names, man.
No wonder we won 3 Super Bowls with those guys.
But at the time, in 91, it was kind of on this cusp of it, right? Because
we hadn't done it
first
yet.
couple of years. But in 91, we went to the playoffs, and I'm thinking, playoffs, I was on vacation somewhere. I was in Cancun or somewhere. I wasn't playing golf somewhere. I wasn't playing football.
Your season ended in December.
Right.
Early December.
Right.
Yeah. Well, let's pick it up there, and we could talk on and on and on, but I want to talk more about your pro career and all that and winning 2 Super Bowls and how cool that was for you. And the question I'm asking you see these rings I wear? You know, that's Super Bowl 12, and that's the Hall of Fame. I wear them everywhere I go. I'm looking at your hands.
No, I didn't wear
How
them.
come you don't wear your Super Bowl rings, man?
I'm sorry. First of all, I can't really flex. I don't have.
Let me see those fingers for a defensive lineman.
They're kind of
Look at
up.
this. Look at this,
See?
y'all.
Look at that. That's a hand model right
I can't catch a football with hands like that. Look at that.
Look at that one right there.
That's from grabbing and
that's
tugging.
Well, I should have had one. I should have had my thumb done several years ago. But
Yeah.
If it's not, well, it's broken. I wouldn't say if it's
You
not.
lineman. That's an injury, like a badge of courage.
Well, yeah,
you know
because
that's something you could show people and say.
Well, those
look,
definitely.
Look at mine.
Look how soft looking those are, man. You just get a pedicure.
Yeah.
I mean, my gosh.
That's my bread and butter. You know, all these years I played football, I never had a sprained finger.
Okay, but
listen, where the ball hit you.
But you know, defensive line. That's all they use.
Yeah,
hands.
Hands.
But we grab. You know, we're violent.
And the offensive lineman is Al Faneca from Pittsburgh Steelers, guard. His fingers, he point to you, he's pointing everybody else. You know? Right. His fingers go all over, and he's like proud of it. You know, look at this, Drew. You know?
Hey, I got one of those too.
You got
man.
one of those. Look at that. But anyway, that's the hazards of the position, and nobody really realizes that. You know,
the only reason I realize this one is because when I play golf, I can still. Well, it's funny because when I was playing. I played 5 years, I think, because this is crazy. This is how the mentality of a football player. We're playing Tampa. I was with Atlanta at the time, and so we had a bye week the following week. And I'm like, the first thing I want to do is not go back and have to go to treatment, right? Mm-hmm. No one wants to do that.
No,
I'm getting out of here, getting out of Dodge.
That's the last thing you want to do, get hurt in the last week, right?
All right. So I'm catching. So it's called a catcher's sprain. So I'm catching myself and falling down, and freaking thumb blew out.
Oh.
And so I'm going in the locker room and I'm talking to the orthopedic or team orthopedic, and he's like, hey, what's wrong, Tony? And I said, well, hey, you know, I'm looking at my thumb and my thumb's all swollen up. And here I am thinking, I do not want him to tell me that I need to come in and get treatment. And because that means I'm going to be out. I'm not going to be able to go out of town, and this kind of selfish stuff, right? Yeah. You know, and so he didn't tell me that. He told me exactly what I wanted to hear. He says, "Hey, here's what I want you to do." He said, "I'm going to give you this pill. I don't even know, it's I don't know, pain or whatever. And on the way home because it was a away game, said on the way home, just have this drink of beer. And I tell you what, if you use your hands like I do." Him being a surgeon, that I'd recommend surgery. I'm looking at him like, dude, that's all I do is use
your hands. Yeah.
So this happened, 1990, and it's still like that. And I played with it for, I don't know, I played 12 years, so I played another, 7-8 years, and they tape it because there's no ligament, so they put tape here where I could actually you have a grip, and it's just crazy. I should have had something done.
And
but I'm really self-conscious about it. Now you start looking at my hands. All you're doing is like staring at my hands.
Now,
I'm going to put them down here.
Tony, you can get that straightened out, okay? Like Roger has this pinky. He's got deformed pinky where he jammed it. And, Roger, you can get that fit. He don't want it. That's his badge of courage, man.
It's character, man.
Yeah, it's character.
It's character, but or stupidity on my part.
Well, you weren't stupid to win 2 Super Bowls, and let's talk about that experience as we continue with the route tree. We'll do that right after this. Hood.
AT&T has a new guarantee because most things in life are not guaranteed, like getting through self-checkout by yourself.
Warning, each item must be placed in the bagging area.
Not guaranteed.
Place item in the bagging area. Place item in the bagging area.
You know what AT&T guarantees? Connectivity you depend on, deals you want, and service you deserve. Or we make it right. Terms and conditions apply. Visit att.com/guarantee for details. AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
If you're looking for fresh American roasted coffee that gives back, you need to head to your local grocery store and pick up a bag of Black Rifle coffee. That's right, America's coffee is now available in the coffee aisle of a grocery store near you. Black Rifle Coffee Company is veteran-founded with a mission to give back to those brave men and women who have served our nation. Every bag, box, or can you purchase helps support that mission. Head to your local grocery store and roast yourself some Black Rifle coffee today.
Welcome back into Dear Doctor, the show where I answer life's questions with an ice-cold can of Dr. Pepper. Sheila, let's hear from our next caller, would you?
Dear Doctor, my friend supported me during a tough time. But what's the right gift that says, thanks for being a shoulder to cry on?
Okay, this one's easy. I say give her a delicious Dr. Pepper. Nothing says, thanks, girl, better than a one-of-a-kind soda. Yes, any Dr. Pepper flavor will do. Now, just a reminder that I don't need to be a real doctor to know that Dr. Pepper is the one you deserve.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code Cowboys VIP.
Back to the route tree.
All right, welcome back to the route tree. I'm Drew Pearson. That guy sitting next to me, Tony Casillas from the Dallas Cowboys, a 2-time Super Bowl champion. What is that? Super Bowl 27?
27 and 28.
Wow. Yeah. Was it both Buffalo?
Yeah.
You picked the right team, didn't you?
I'll tell you what. I really feel sorry for them.
Marv Levy, too.
Oh, yeah. 4 in a row, and then this year, whenever Kansas City is not around, and then they end up losing, and I don't know, and then they fire the coach, which, I mean, it's tough now. I mean, you got guys like even Sean, McDermott from,
he got
Buffalo.
axed. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. He got fired with Buffalo, and then you got Tomlin, and you had Harbaugh. But those guys right there, man, could you imagine going to 4 Super Bowls and don't have anything to show for it? I mean, that's. No. But hey, I'm not mad at them because I got 2.
You'd rather have that negativity on you than not being there at all, But that's the price you pay.
Do you think that's? I don't know. I mean, that's a great question.
Yeah,
because I mean, it's frustrating. I mean, if you're a Buffalo fan and what's your odds of not winning 1 Super Bowl 4 years in a row? I mean, I don't know what the odds on that, the logistics of that, but man, that's heartbreaking, man.
And I don't know how many games or championship games they played in that were played in. Their environment,
right?
Yeah, and still couldn't come out on top in Buffalo. So anyway, that's their problem. Y'all whipped their butts, man.
That is what it is.
Did you have that game won at halftime? Were y'all counting that money, that Super Bowl money at halftime?
Oh no! You kidding me with Jimmy Johnson, our coach?
You better stay focused.
Grinding, man. He had us running, outside the locker room, having us do, corrections or whatever. But no, we never took anything for granted. And the Super Bowl 27. We had, I think we still a record for turnovers, 7 to 8 turnovers in that game, which just it was just a blitzkrieg when it came to that type of big plays, which just turned around, and Jim Kelly got knocked out of the game, and Frank Wright came in and played, and it was
Frank Wright.
Yeah,
no way he's going to beat us, man.
Yeah.
No way,
so,
right?
I mean, think about – there ain't no way. I mean,
no
come
way.
on. So
no
anyways,
way.
we took that game over, and we won pretty decisively.
Yeah.
But the game in Atlanta was a lot closer. They had success in Buffalo, but, we made adjustments. We ran the hell out of the football the second half and kind of put that self-doubt into them again.
Yeah.
But there's no doubt about it. Jimmy, one thing about Jimmy Johnson, there was no comfortability at all. He'd make you feel uncomfortable, even if you're a success, which I think it makes a lot of sense as a leader and as a coach. You can't let guys, because it happens, man. You start.
Oh yeah.
You start feeling good about yourself.
Complacent.
Oh yeah. And you pay attention to detail.
And the bad thing about that, you're talking about that, but it spreads through the whole team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now you really got a problem.
Yeah, and so then you got to have some alpha dogs in the locker room to hey, get this thing back together. But man, I tell you what, it wasn't. This. There's nothing like that game, winning the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I think that's something that you'll never forget.
But how cool is it to go back to back?
Oh shit!
Come on, man.
Hey,
back to back. You talk about all the things you had to overcome. Yeah. You did it twice in a row.
And you know what's the last team that's done that in the NFC? Won back to back?
Y'all.
That's right. And I'm thinking, you think about doing that. And here I am. I'm coming from Atlanta, and I'm like, gosh dang. I mean, this is, like you said, this is like Christmas.
With the league being such a transient league now, that probably will never happen again.
I mean, look at the Eagles.
Yeah.
I mean, they had arguably one of the best years of Super Bowl team. I mean, you look at Saquon Barkley, you look at their quarterback, their defense, and then they come back the second year, and it's hard, man.
Yeah.
So you got to be good. I always think about a golf terminology when you start talking, not terminology, but it's kind of a saying. It's like you play golf and you have a good score, and you say, I'm surely not that good. I was damn lucky, because in golf you have to be lucky. Now football's a little different.
Yeah,
complexity.
You can create some.
Yeah, but still
the residue of design.
And I guess with luck, it's probably injuries. It's probably being in the right place at the right time, getting the luck of the calls. I mean, some guy, a bad play you make into a big play. I mean, it's just, and that's not luck. That's just being.
You create your own luck.
But my point being is that's the luck that you have when you're prepared, when your coach grinds on you, and good things happen, and that's got to be the process.
Now, you won the Super Bowls with who as the head coach?
Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson?
Yeah.
And then Barry came in.
Yeah, I was gone.
After that.
Yeah.
And what happened after that?
What after?
Barry shows up. Were you
excited,
disappointed? You hate to see Jimmy go? You hate that rift that they had with the ownership with the Cowboys?
Well, you know what? When I left, I was going someplace to chase the money.
I got you.
So I mean,
you were a free agent.
Yeah, I was a free agent, and then all bets are off. So
let the Cowboys deal what they got to deal with.
And it was great, but I really thought it was kind of unusual the way it happened with Barry getting hired as a coach.
Yeah.
We talk about all that, but anyway, it was interesting, the dynamic of it when I did come back in '96 and '97, how it changed, and everyone understands. It's like, I don't know if this is a good analogy, but everyone's had a substitute teacher.
Yeah.
And you have the real teacher that comes in there and gives you homework every night. And then when that substitute teacher comes in, and
everybody's lighting up.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they're like, they don't really
throwing
care.
spitballs.
Well, yeah, they really don't care what you're doing or whatever. I don't know. It's just I feel like that guys kind of thought that Barry Switzer was a substitute teacher, and that, which I know it wasn't true because I've lived it and I experienced it at Oklahoma. But I think that when Coach Switzer came here, he felt like, what do I need to do? What am I going to change? What am I going to do?
Yeah.
This is on autopilot, which you go back and look at all those players that we had on that team. My gosh, we needed some structure.
Right. And even in the coaching staff, you just took Jimmy out and put Barry in, right? The rest of the staff stays status quo.
Yeah, and then I think there was a lot of other coaches that had probably some animosity towards that were on that staff towards Switzer.
I bet, yeah.
Because like, why are you hiring?
It got passed over.
And you're used to working for someone like Jimmy Johnson that has his culture, that has his expectation, that puts kind of at times does what he needs to do, the fear God in you, because they're all different about motivating people.
Right.
It's totally different than what Coach Switzer did. And the dynamic, and you can't really – reality is to think that Coach Switzer is going to be like Jimmy back then because we've seen all the stories. Jimmy was out of control, man. I mean, and it was – I mean, I owe a lot to him, but you look back at some of the stuff he did, it's like, damn.
Is that right?
We did that.
Yeah.
But, you know, Coach Switzer, I think that, you know, he did what he needed to do. And I think he got to a point where I think a lot of guys that when you're starting to talk to the owner instead of the coach, you got a problem. When you have an issue, you go to the head coach. If you had an issue, you talk to Jimmy.
Yeah.
If he found out you were talking to Jerry, he'd cut your ass.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of changed, but I think it was just because Coach Switzer felt like, hey, what do I need to do to change anything that's on autopilot? These guys are professional athletes. They can handle everything. What I need to do? They don't need. I'm the substitute teacher. No, I'm not disrespect, but I'm just saying.
That's a good way to put it.
Right.
I understand the analogy. Yeah, absolutely.
So, but I think there was a lot of guys that really didn't give him the benefit of the doubt. I think there were some guys that you know their expectation was unrealistic, that he was going to be like Jimmy, which. There's no coach like Jimmy. Yeah, so
that's like Landry.
Yeah,
don't be like that.
But he came here and he won a Super Bowl. That was the last Super Bowl the Cowboys won in 1995. But one thing about Coach Switzer, I think he's very transparent, and I think you ask him, he's going to give you an honest answer. I tell you, he's unfiltered. You may not like what he says. He may cuss a little bit, swear a little bit, but you know you're going to get a frank answer.
And what you see is what you're going to get.
And there's no speculation.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of guys, you know, in the media too, they want to have the speculative perspective of a coach. Oh, you know, this. But Coach Switzer just say, no, this is how I am.
Yeah.
And he'd cuss you out, you know. He'd like, tell you, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But
I've been around him a few times. Very interesting man. And we got along very well. You know, Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
You know, we're both in there.
Yeah.
Same class. 2008?
Yeah. Same class, man.
You believe that? Way back then, 2008?
Hey, we were pups then.
I was looking up that. I said, what year was that?
I know.
2008.
It's just like this. It's on this fast track in life as you get older. But hey, that's honored to be in your class, brother.
We're both together, and here's the guy from New Jersey in the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame. That's pretty cool.
Right, well, it was fun. It was an honor to go in your class. But I think that when I look at, in retrospect of, you know, you look back, and I'm just, you know, I always like to ask questions. I mean, one of the things I'm guilty of, and my freaking wife tell you, is I ask a lot of questions, whether they're smart or not smart. I mean, I just ask questions. I mean, and I'm like, you know, she's like, she goes, what am I, like a freaking, am I GTP or something, or JatPT? You know,
you're like Alexa.
Yeah.
Hey.
So, but anyways, I think that's what you got to do, is you got to ask, you know, the questions. And so I think that when I look at Coach Switzer and I look at Jimmy, I mean, what's in common with them is they both were, you know, they had their own way of motivating people, a unique way.
Yeah.
And one thing about Coach Switzer, he's a loyal friend. I mean, he is a person that, you know, my mom passed away back in July. It was unexpected, you know, and so I called him up, and he came to my he spoke at my dad's eulogy, and my mom, and Coach Switzer's 88 now.
Wow.
And so I called him, and he called me. He goes, "Hey man, I'm sorry, Tony, I found out about your mom." And he says, I want to come to I want to send flowers.
Yeah.
And I said, "That's okay, Coach, because you've always been there for me." I mean,
right.
He's that guy. He's that call.
People don't know
you hear that lifeline, you know, when he's going to call, and like 4:00 in the morning, come get you out of jail, or
whatever
you need, he's going to be there. You need money, and so he goes, "Hey, I'm gonna send flyers." I say, "Hey, coach, that's okay. You don't need to do that. You've done so much for me." And so I hung up, and he called me back, and he said, "You know what, Tony? I'm just going to come to the funeral." He drove, 88-year-old man. Not to say he probably could be a better driver than someone that's young. I mean, but anyway, point being said is that that he drove all the way from Norman, Oklahoma to Tulsa, which was like a 2.5 hour, and showed up. She was there at my mom's funeral.
Wow!
I can't think of any other guy, any family members, let alone a coach who has thousands and thousands of players. Yeah. And people, a legendary coach, would take time for any player or anybody to be there for him.
Right.
So it says a lot about Coach Switzer.
Yeah, it certainly does.
So it's hard for me to say anything negative about that man.
Yeah. Well, that kind of experience certainly is unique. It's the same thing with Coach Landry when I had my car accident and I had to retire. I lost my brother in that accident. And while they're up in Jersey comforting my family and putting my brother to rest and everything, I'm in a hospital, Presbyterian Hospital in Dallas, and the person that was there the whole time, Tom Landry. Wow. And you didn't know he was like that. Yeah. You probably didn't know Barry Switzer had that kind of heart and cared that much about his players.
Absolutely.
To be there for you like that.
Yeah.
Those are the things you remember.
Yeah, and this is way beyond the playing days.
Yeah.
And we still become friends, and everyone calls Coach Switzer.
Yeah,
he's
y'all look out for him, don't you?
Oh man, I tell you what, you're talking about. If someone ever says anything bad about Coach Switzer, I'm like that. I freaking bow up. I'm like, hey, you just don't. I mean, the guy
don't even try.
He's golden, man. I tell you what, he's just, and I think that's the memories that you have, because we all understand that when we're playing the game, we're playing for a coach, everyone you feel like you're just as important as the other guy. And hopefully, that we know that's, but once you get out of the game, you're still having that bond and that relationship. And there for you. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to find anyone, let alone someone like him, or has status, or just is beloved by so many people and players and just mankind. I mean, the dude. I mean, there's not too many people I know. Yeah. I know for sure that would do that for me.
Yeah.
I mean, my wife and I'm just saying someone like that, and that's core to the bone.
Right on.
Yeah,
and I appreciate you expressing that to us, because on the outside looking in, you don't think Coach Switzer cared that much. He thought more winning and all that, and flamboyancy and all that kind of stuff. But deep down, that's why he won.
Yeah.
Because that's the way he cared about his players.
Right.
And the players saw that, and they played for him. Y'all played for him.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Won championships and everything.
And that's what you do. And even like Jimmy Johnson, and certainly for Tom Landry, but Jimmy had a different way of motivating and his whole process. But same thing. I mean, you believed in him, you played for him,
right on,
because he believed in you, and you just had a way of, I always think the communication. People always ask you, what do you miss about the game of football, regardless how old you are. But not only do you remember these relationships that you and I, we're not even. But I'm talking about with your former teammates, that chemistry and just being able to talk to each other, and just, it's a different time in life. But, I think the thing with great motivators and leaders like Jimmy is that they have a way of just pushing your buttons.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And at the right time.
Right. I mean, and they're the right way to push those buttons.
Yeah.
And they just have that skill to be able to, like great leaders, to be able to push a button and be able to read people.
Yeah.
And in the world of, certainly the way the world is in NFL now and pro sports is totally different. But still, I think people want that. They want someone to like challenge them.
Yeah.
They want to, and you got to be able to fail, and you have to be able to go through all these different adverse situations. And certainly when you're winning, and that's one thing about, us being able to experience winning Super Bowls is that not only we have the leaders, but the players that were willing to do that. Because you have to be willing. You have to be not vulnerable, a little not submissive, but you have to be able to be humble. Because, there's so many guys, man. It's like, dude, just be motivated. We're all doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how it is. Yeah. Everybody's doing it. The great Drew Pearson's doing it.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to do it. Troy Aikman's doing it. I'm doing it.
Leaders.
And those guys led because they did it. So same thing with the coaching, man.
Well, there's some good stuff, Tony.
Absolutely, man. I love this.
We got to get into a little bit of your personal life and what you're doing now. Not so much personal, but what you're doing now every day for Tony Casillas. And as we wrap up the show, this is some good stuff. We can make 2 or 3 parts of this.
I have a chance of rambling on, but that's what you're so great at.
You defensive guys, when you get a chance to talk, y'all like to talk. Too Tall, he did a great job too when we had him here. But we appreciate you taking the time. But we want to talk about a little bit more of what you're doing now. We'll do that right after we come back with the Route Tree before we wrap it up for another episode of the Route Tree right here at the Cowboys headquarters. How cool is this?
Oh, this is perfect.
Pretty cool, huh?
Man, this is the creme de the creme.
Yeah, this is better than most TV stations. I worked over the years. I worked in most of those. Yeah. And none setups.
I like the lighting, man.
The lighting. Now you want to come watch? You want to come watch the Super Bowl? Have a party? This might be the place to do it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, look at all the monitors and everything. But it's awesome. But that's the Dallas Cowboys, and that's how they do it. And you, Tony Casillas, and that's how you've done it. And we want to talk about how you've been doing it in your life after football. We'll do that right after this. Hood.
Every day begins with a promise to work hard and to build a future. That's why we're here, providing the tools, expertise, and John Deere equipment you have relied on for generations to help you get the job done right. We're with you. That's our promise to you, because no matter the project or the challenge you're facing,
we're with you.
We're united.
Cowboys fans, we've got big news. Black Rifle Energy is now available at Texas 7-Eleven stores. And for a limited time, you can score 2 cans for just $6 at participating locations. These cans pack a serious punch, 200 milligrams of caffeine, veteran-crafted flavor, and the clean energy you need to power through those long days. So the next time you roll into your neighborhood 7-Eleven here in Texas, grab that 2 for $6 Black Rifle Energy deal and fuel up the American way. Black Rifle Coffee, America's coffee.
How's it going? You see that Cowboys game?
Oh, I watched. Been seeing some good things.
Totally. They have some talent.
Yup, some great talent.
And they got some fight.
Hoping this is the year.
Me too. Oh, I'm Cody, by the way.
I'm Travis.
Nice to meet you, Travis. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.
Make a new friend based solely on their shirt choice. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation.
At AT&T, we guarantee our network so you can talk college football with your BFF while taking Buster to the vet.
Hey, yeah, I can't believe he ate the whole thing of chicken wings.
And I can't believe we're staging a comeback. Touchdown!
Yes!
Staying connected matters. That's why in the rare event of a network outage, you'll automatically get a bill credit for a full day's service. For wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers, must be connected to impacted tower at onset of outage. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for full details.
Back to the Route Tree.
All right, welcome back to the Route Tree. I'm Drew Pearson. That guy sitting next to me, Tony Casillas.
I will say this: you wide receivers are the most athletic and the most diva. There's some divas out there.
Oh man, I was one.
Are you really?
Yeah, I was one within the structure of Tom Landry's system. Okay, you don't just go so far. Okay, you only take it so far. Okay, but you got to be a little concerned about the response.
Yeah,
because back in the day, they cut you and think nothing of it.
Yeah.
I had a guy played behind me for 8 seasons named Butch Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, they cut me. He steps right in.
Yeah.
So even when I had my car accident, we had to hold there at wide receiver. Butch steps right in. But anyway,
there's always somebody else, isn't there?
Always somebody. That's the game, right?
Absolutely.
And we think you're the best and the greatest, and they think you play forever, and then here comes the next guy.
Yep.
But the next guy here on the route tree is the great Tony Casillas. Thanks for being with us, man.
It's been great.
And some great stories, some great insights, some great information. Some things we haven't even heard. So this might hit the mainstream media. You never know. But we want to take it back to where we are now. The Tony Casillas, 62 years old. How's life for you? And what do you do on a daily basis and that type of thing?
Well, I'm just blessed to 62 and be healthy, knock on wood. You just never know. But, my routines every day starts with, getting up and warming up the body. I do a lot of cold plunge, which I think is really good. It's probably the 50-degree water, and to me, it just helps it enhance the circulation. Go to the gym, probably around 8:30. I'm not giving you a whole itinerary and everything I'm doing, but the point being is I started off with that. That's kind of part of my, the way I look at it now. I'm going to do it until as long as I can, because I still get some kind of euphoric. I don't run anymore, but I do a lot of high impact. It's called HIIT, which is high intensity cardio. And I do a ton of that. And so that starts my day off. Over the years since I've been out, I've been in the media, I've been in businesses, I've been, I play a lot of golf. I've done a lot of different things, and to this day I continue. One thing about that star and winning Super Bowls, it's been not that you're totally relevant, but there's some relevancy for you as a former player and being associated with the organization. So there's always stuff that come up with that. So I've been very fortunate. I think now, I've been married for going on 29 years, man.
God
I tell you what,
man. God bless
she needs about 29 Lombardi awards for
she's
that.
She's a Hall of Famer for sure.
She's like the elite of the elite.
Yeah, right on. No, that's awesome.
I'll admit that.
Now, where'd you meet her? In college?
She's a Buckeye, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
OSU.
So this is a funny story. So
not Oklahoma State, but OSU.
The Ohio State.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
I hear you.
It's all, you see someone, you'll be in the airport.
So you meet her at a bowl game or something?
No, I didn't. So 1994, I believe, I was right before I was going to New York. I was single, back in the day, man. I'm just going to say.
No phones, no nothing.
Just saying, hey.
Woo, boy.
It was some fun times.
Yeah.
So I was, I really wasn't planning on settling down or having a girlfriend. And I was just being that dude, man, being out there, having a good time and, being, playing that role as a NFL baller and Super Bowl champ, all that stuff that comes along with it. So I was just out, and so I'm a big fan of pro golf, the PGA, and so Fred Couples, I'd met him a couple of times. Cool. He came out to the complex, right? They bring people out there on Saturday, yeah. So Fred Couples, they call him Boom Boom, man, but the dude's got a tremendous swing. But anyway, I'd met him. They came out on a Saturday before a game, and so I'd already met him. And so fast forward when I think it was in September, I was getting ready to go or August, going to New York. And I was out with my guys at a place called Sapango. Do you remember Sapango?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Sapango, yeah.
Absolutely.
And then they had the Rio room downstairs.
Wanted to hang out. Yeah.
So
you had
anyway,
to be a VIP to get up in there.
You had a lot of hut-huts in there. I thought they had the hut section still.
Yeah,
they got a picture bear back in the corner.
Boy,
it's not there
days.
anymore. Oh, yeah. So
some legendary days.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
And like you said, I'm glad there's no
cell phones and all that.
You can deny.
No, not deny. Lie till you die.
No. But you could deny because they didn't have any proof.
Right on, brother. We had a leeway to get out of there.
Right.
Yeah.
So I go out there with my buddy, and it was just so happened Tamara, that's my wife's name. At the time, she was out there. She was there with her sister. Fred was engaged to my my sister-in-law at the time, and she was out there selling her birthday. And so one of her friends that was with her came up, brought her over to me because she was single. I didn't know she going through was a divorce, so I didn't know the situation. Anyways, she brings her over there, and she introduces me. I'm like, God, who's this hot chick? So I'm sitting there talking. So I go over there, and she goes, yeah. And her friend said, yeah, she's with Fred. So Fred was there. So anyway, I was sitting there talking, gave me an excuse. So anyways, fast forward, I was in New York, and she sent me a picture of her. And I was like, you know how it is when you get letters.
Yeah,
and it had some marking or something. I was like, oh, well, maybe this is some, I don't know.
Fan mail or something.
Opportunity. So I opened it up, and it was a picture. And I remember I was taking her picture and showing it in the locker room. I was like, hey, what do you think about her? So anyways,
you got the approval from the boys.
Yeah. So I met her in 1994, and
nice.
We're going on 29, be 29 in February.
Wow, what a blessing.
And I tell you what, I mean, that's one thing about, again, the knucklehead I am and the things that I've done, it's just you need someone. But, I mean, she's a Buckeye, and she doesn't put up with any shit, and she tells you she's very transparent.
Nice.
And
dealing with you, that's why she has to be that way.
Well, she's, one thing, honesty is the best policy. And sometimes she's and so I'm just very lucky. I have 3 kids. My oldest son's 31. He lives in Austin.
What's the name? What's his?
His name's Chase, and then I have the twins.
Chase Casillas. That's pretty cool.
He's my stepson.
Okay.
So what happened is that when I first met my wife, he was 6 months. I didn't realize that she had a 6 month. So it was a package deal, which was
nice,
great.
Man. All right. You stepped right up.
I did,
that,
man. So
God bless you, bro.
Yeah. So anyways, I mean, it was kind of weird going from where I was.
Yeah.
All of a sudden having this package deal. And then I have twins, Jet and Sophia. Talents. They're 25. They both live in Dallas.
Twins?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so they both live in Dallas. And so we were talking about earlier about almost going to UT, University of Texas. Well, my son, the oldest one, which has a grandbaby, his name's Luke, call him Squish, 10 months old. He decided he ended up going to Texas.
Oh, okay.
And that was hard, brother.
Yeah, I bet.
Getting up and in the morning having that burnt orange on made me want to throw up. So
especially
that was
the big game here at the Cotton Bowl and everything. Woo!
So Jet and Sophia, they my oldest, her twin brother Jet, he ended up going to Oklahoma. He wanted to be a Sooner. He's
good for him.
And then my daughter Sophia, which is a lot like Tamara, my wife. She's great. She went to Arkansas. Woo, Pig Suey.
Oh, yeah.
All that.
I played there.
So it's great. You know how it is having kids. It's great. And one thing I realized watching my oldest son has Luke is that when they travel somewhere, all the stuff you have to take. And I'm thinking, gosh dang, I'm looking at my wife, and we had twins.
Yeah.
Double your pleasure, double everything, and they bring all this stuff. And it's like, oh my God. I mean, we went through that. But you don't even think about it. You just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the best thing about it is it's truly, as much as we love Luke and my wife, we FaceTime all the time, and they end up going home at one point, which you don't maybe want to, but it's been a blessing, man. I mean, it really has to watch that.
Right on. That says a lot about you being a good guy, man. Not just a great football player, but a good person as well. And that's what it's all about, TC, because you can't win Super Bowls without quality people, all right? You can have quality players, talented players, but like Coach Landry said, if you don't have the character, the intelligence, the passion, and then some talent, you're not going to have much success. But you got to have that. At that top is the character.
Absolutely.
And that's what I see a lot in Tony Casillas, a lot of character. But before we wrap up today's game, anything different you wish you could play in today's game as opposed to the rules when you play before we wrap this thing up? Because I got a lot of opinions about today's game.
Well, first of all, I think the money is the obvious thing.
That's the obvious.
I don't know how it would – I mean, we're all on part of social media because that's kind of where we're at. That's kind of what our world is, and you have to be present out there. If you just, you want to – it's just the mainstream media, so to speak, and so I think that obviously the game itself, the rules, there's too many rules in the game of football. I mean, to identify, everyone has to explain it to you know, you watch a game and the commentators, they have a guy in there that's going over instant replay because there's this complexity of the calls and understanding if it's a catch. I mean, you know, as a wide receiver, you probably just like, you probably it's an offensive game. I mean, you know,
more so now than when I was coming through.
Oh yeah,
sure.
Yeah, I mean,
the rule changes and stuff.
I mean, I'm sure that you wish they'd had a lot of those personal.
Well, if I
going across and running a slant route.
If I played in these rules, I wouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. I'd be in Huntsville because I would have been illegal. All right, the Huntsville Hall of Fame.
Maybe we should just quit on that one.
Yeah, let's quit on that. But hey, the great Tony Casillas being with us, brother.
Enjoyed it, brother.
That's some good stuff,
Yes,
man.
sir.
And thank you for taking the time to come down to the Cowboys Star headquarters and do this deal live because. It's very enlightening, and I'm sure our audience is going to appreciate Tony Casillas being part of the show today.
Thanks
for being part of the Route Tree, and we'll be back next week with another edition or an episode. Call it what you want, but we'll be back next week right here at the Cowboy headquarters with the Route Tree. Hood, 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 hood.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this,